Prague, a city of 100 spires, rich in history and culture. But behind these picturesque scenes lies a tumultuous past marked by political and religious strife. Welcome to our journey through the Defenestrations of Prague, where windows were not just architectural features, but instruments of dramatic historical events. Our story begins in the early 15th century, a time of growing unrest in Bohemia. The first defenestration of Prague occurred on July 30th, 1419. The scene was set by a backdrop of religious tension and reform. Jan Hus, a Bohemian priest and reformer, had been executed for his calls to reform the Catholic Church. His followers, known as Hussites, were furious and sought to challenge the establishment. Led by the fiery preacher Jan Jelivsky, a group of Hussites marched through Prague, filled with righteous indignation. Their target was the new town hall, where they intended to confront the city councilors who were loyal to the Catholic Church. The atmosphere was charged with tension as the crowd gathered, demanding the release of Hussite prisoners. When their demands were ignored, violence erupted. In a moment of fury, the Hussites stormed the council chamber and seized the councilors. One by one, they were thrown out of the windows. The fall proved fatal for many, marking the first defenestration of Prague as a brutal act of rebellion. This violent act echoed across Europe, signaling the start of the Hussite Wars. Bohemia was plunged into a conflict that would last for decades, reshaping the region's religious and political landscape. Fast forward to the early 17th century. The religious divide in Europe had only deepened, and the seeds of the 30 Years' War were about to be sown. The second and most famous defenestration of Prague would serve as the spark. By 1617, Ferdinand II, a staunch Catholic, ascended to the throne of Bohemia. His policies aimed to reassert Catholic dominance, much to the dismay of the largely Protestant nobility. Tensions reached a boiling point in 1618. On May 23, 1618, a group of Protestant nobles, incensed by Ferdinand's policies, took decisive action. They convened at the Bohemian Chancellery to confront two of Ferdinand's representatives, Jaroslav Bozita of Martinice and Vilém Slavata of Chlum. Accusing them of violating religious freedoms, the nobles acted swiftly. In a scene of high drama, they seized Martinice and Slavata, along with their secretary, and hurled them out of the third-floor window. Miraculously, all three survived the fall, thanks to a dung heap that cushioned their landing. Though less fatal than its predecessor, this defenestration had far-reaching consequences. It ignited the Bohemian Revolt, a key precursor to the 30 Years' War, a conflict that would ravage Europe and involve many of the continent's great powers. Today, the windows of Prague's historic buildings stand silent, witnesses to the city's turbulent past. The defenestrations of Prague remind us of the intense human passions that have shaped history, acts of rebellion, faith, and survival. As we look back on these dramatic episodes, we gain insight into the complexities of religious and political power struggles. The defenestrations of Prague were not just acts of violence. They were pivotal moments that reshaped the course of European history. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from the annals of history. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, leave a comment below. See you in the next episode.